Hi people, Night Voice again. I see the interest rates are on the rise again. Gone up 0.25%. Advertised in the paper the other day, or you read it on the internet, average what it's going to cost people. Extra a month. I reckon the average $300,000 loan is going to cost an extra around about $50 a month. And then they're talking about having an increase of 1%, 1 full percentage point this year. Now they went up 0.25% the other day. We get another 3 of those. I mentioned $50 on 300,000. That's going to add $200 a month to the average $300,000 mortgage. Now people are going to struggle. People are struggling now with paying their mortgages. They're going to be struggling even more with this 0.25% increase. Now they go up 1%. Nowhere in the world are some people going to be able to pay. That's $200 a month, basically. People just aren't going to be able to afford it. They're going to be pulling their hair out. There'll be breakups in marriages and all kinds of things. Just putting more and more pressure on the normal working person in Australia. People that want to buy their own home. Just absolutely ridiculous. Now, how much money are the banks making? They advertised the other week, I think it was Commonwealth Bank advertised the other week how much they made in a quarter. You know, I think it was in the billions, I think. And the interest rates are only, or whatever they were. I don't know what they are at the moment. But for these interest rates to keep going up, especially for housing, I mean, I think it's about time that the government regulated these banks, or told all the banks, right, from now on, we're just bring in a law and just say, okay, right, the home mortgage rate for owner occupiers is 4.5%. That's all you can charge. End of story. A lot of banks will probably say, no, we're not interested in that, so they'll go away. But there'll be banks that want that business. No way in the world, you know, no problem. Just tell the Federal Reserve that if they want to loan the money out for housing, well, okay, well, they loan it out at 2% or something to the banks that want to charge 4.5%. Banks are still making money. The Federal Reserve, well, where do they get their money from? They either print it or, well, I don't know where the hell they get it from. But anyway, that's what should happen. If you go back 25 years ago, if people are sitting here now watching me around my age, think back 25 years ago, how much you paid for a house. Now, if you bought that house and you lived in it, you probably own it now. Not a problem. You haven't got a problem. You own the house. It's probably worth $400,000 to $500,000 now. Excuse me. But if you think about what you were earning back then, and how much your mortgage repayments were, way back then when you bought a house for 40 or 50, you were probably paying about $200 a month for your mortgage. You know, you're probably only earning $200 or $300 a week anyway. But the houses in that time have gone up 10 times. So a house back 25 years ago that cost you 40 or 50,000, today's going to cost you 400 to 500,000. Now, I guarantee your income hasn't jumped the same percentage, or the same amount of times, 10 times. So if you were earning $200 or $300 back in, say, 25 years ago, if it did jump the same as the housing costs, you should be earning $2,000 to $3,000 take-home pay a week. Then you'd be able to afford to pay these $500 or $600 a week mortgages. But I'm fairly confident to say that not too many people earn $2,000 to $3,000 a week take-home pay. You may, in a double income family, but there again, you'd be very lucky to earn 2 to 3. You may earn $1,500, $1,600 or something like that. But the difference is that's the whole problem. The figures just don't add up. The figures between your income as, say, a single income earner and your housing costs. No way in the world does it add up. Now, the bank's making plenty of money at whatever the interest rate is now. They put them up. There's going to be heaps of people losing their houses. There's a lot of people probably can't. A lot of people have been advertised. Well, it's not really advertised, but every now and again you see a snippet saying how many people are under pressure. You know, foreclosures, banks taking the houses back because they can't afford to pay them at the present interest rate now. So, like I said, I think the government should turn around to the bank right now. That's what they should do, because if the interest rate goes up 1%, imagine if it went up to 10%. 10%. Everybody just about would be knackered. No way in the world would the average person be able to pay off their mortgage. So like I said, they should make it 4.5%, and it should be spread over 50 to 60 years. It doesn't matter whether you by the time you're just about ready to cark it, you're in your 80s or something like that, you might owe $10,000 or something like that on your home. Okay, but your home in that period of time, in 30 or 40 years' time, it's probably going to, if it jumps 10 times again, it's going to be worth 5 million or 4 million or something. So the money's there. The banks never lose their money. They only lose their money when they dish out to areas that don't increase in price. You know, they devalue, so the banks start to get worried and think, oh, you know, what we're going to do here. But as long as you're paying your mortgage, well, it doesn't matter. They get their money back. They're making whatever they make on you, 2% or 3% for the life of that loan. So it's not a problem. Like I said, you know, if you cark it or whatever, you know, if the house has to be sold, or your kids say, oh no, well, we'll take the house on, blah blah blah, gets paid off at the end of the day. But there's going to be a lot of people. I mean, something seriously has to be done. I mean, this is why what I've been talking about for you know, the last few months about the breakdown in society. You know, two people, the husband and the wife, have got to work to try and survive. There's no one at home for the kids, or the kids are in daycare, or, you know, I mean, it's just this breakdown of society. And you know, it's just the whole monetary system where the average person in the street is just not allowed to have any money. Basically, I think. Anyway, that's my feelings. So let's see what we can do. A few people start watching this and thinking about it, because that's what I think should happen. It should just be, boom, regulated, that's it. End of story. I mean, they're bringing this first home owners grant. Just sucked all those young people in. Yeah, right on the borderline of being able to afford it. Yeah, okay, if two are working, you know, it's all right. And what happens if the girl gets pregnant, or, you know, the wife wants to have a baby or whatever? She drops out of the system. Us guys, you know, the breadwinner in the family's got to try and pick that up, try and close that gap. Now, if the wife was earning good money, and all of a sudden that money's stopped, doesn't come in anymore, puts that much pressure on the bloke. You know, it's all, you've got to think about all these things, you know, what actually happens to everybody. I mean, you people sitting there, if you're going to watch me now, you know what your budget is, you know how much money comes into your household, what you have to do with it. You know, you've got X amount for schooling, you've got X amount for food, you've got X amount for your mortgage, power, water, phone, car, everything. Basically, just about every dollar these days is accounted for. There's no extra. So, you know, I think, like I said, the government need to do something so that we're not in this situation. You know, and I think if they could work a deal where, you know, like I said, 4.5% to slash off $200 or $300 a week off your mortgage, so you're not paying so much, so you've got that extra $200 or $300 a week to do what you know, whatever you want to do with it. Either put it into something, you know, refurbish one of your rooms, or buy a new car because your other car's knackered, you know, whatever. Save $50 a week and have a holiday once a year. How many of us get to really enjoy a decent holiday? You know? That's what it's all about. Anyway, that's what I think. So just have a think about it and get a few people watching and listening, and see what happens. Night, voice. Catch you later.